Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is or you have got a bit lost. Welcome, everyone. I'm Chatty. Welcome to my channel, Chatty's Mad Chatter, where I'm going to be chatting away madly about, I think we're on part 7 of my segmented study, which is basically my version of a vlog, but in lots of little pieces because I can't edit together because my laptop is really ancient and quite frankly, I'm surprised it's still working, but keep crossing your fingers because otherwise this is going to be a lot harder. So, because I don't edit, I do this little gimmick called one shot no editing. It keeps rolling, chaos happens, and I have the power of pause, and that is it. So cheers everyone, clink, clink, clink. So the book that I'm talking about next in my segmented study was for 2 of the prompts, for want of a better word, and I'm just going to go find my paper because words have eluded me. Amazing. I have the list of classes here. I'm just trying to find out which one was which. So this is going to be for 2 prompts because I'm doing the Star Whisperer, and I've also added the extra class of alchemy in there just because that's what Piolas wants to do. He just wants to do some alchemy as well. So this was the Copper to Silver prompt continuous series. This is the second book in the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, but also book number 15 in the Realm of the Eldlings series. So that definitely works. And it is also lunar alignment for astronomy, which is to read from a finished series, and the Realm of the Eldlings is a finished series, so that works wonderfully. I love this book. This is Fool's Quest by Robin Hobb, and I love Hobb. There's no secret about the fact that I love Hobb, and basically this is just going to be me telling you why I love this book. It's not a series that's for everyone. It's character, a lot of character. It's a slow burn. There's a lot of details in the world. It's slow paced. So if that's not your thing, you're gonna struggle. But it is my thing, and I can just continue to read Hobb and just have a wonderful time. But I definitely feel that this is one where the more you reread the series, the more you're gonna get from it. And for me, at the first read, what I'm just really enjoying is just seeing how far these characters that we've seen, like from being really, really little, have come on to this point, and just the relationships that have grown, changed, matured, and all of those wonderful things. And there is a payoff that I think you didn't even realize you needed in this book as well. But I think the most important thing when reading this book is to go, right, we know there's a plot, but there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen and be resolved. So just park the plot. Let it just sit there. It's going to be dealt with. Just trust we're going to get there. But before we can send the characters off on this journey, we need to deal with a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we need to deal with. And I'm going to trust Hobb and believe it's all important because I'm just having the best time. And I just think all of the stuff that happens in here, it makes sense for the characters. It makes a lot of sense for who they are trying to be and kind of where they've come from. Even if, as a reader, there's a plot point that you're like, why is this not being dealt with right now? So my journey with this book, I did a lot of skim reading and then going back over that section and reading it again. Because I just needed to be like, hold on. I just need to know. Because if I could just sit down and read this beast in one whole sitting, I would. But life does not give me that luxury. Life continues. And there are many times when I just have to put the book down. And that hurts and is very painful. So in order for me to function and actually do things with a working brain and give my time to real life people, rather than going, yes, but you don't understand what Fitz should be dealing with right now, because they don't know. I need to find out before I can put the book down so that I can function as a human. So therefore, I needed to kind of skip a little bit ahead and be like, okay, this is not going to be dealt with for several chapters, that I'm just going to sit back and chill. And I'm just going to be like, sure, I will listen to these other conversations with these other characters, and we're just going to take our time and not hurry. And it's going to be okay. So that's what I needed to be able to be okay with this book. Everyone's reading experience is different. That was mine. It worked for me. And I had a great time with this book. I really, truly did. It was... So again, another reason I was able to cope with this is that for me, in the Fitz kind of trilogies, so you have some Rainwild bits and some Bingtown bits, and then you have some Fitz bits over the whole of the realm of the Elderlings. In the first book, you get a lot of kind of like setup and a lot of like character stuff that Fitz has to deal with. The second book is always the big political one. There's lots of stuff happening. Pieces are being moved, ready for the quest book. Book number 3 is the quest book. Even though book number 2 is called the quest, book number 3 is the quest. Book number 2 is the packing for the quest. And like the mental preparing and the making sure everyone's okay, ready for the quest, and who should we take with us on the quest. That's what book 2 is all about. So I enjoy all the bit anytime we get to spend in Buckkeep Castle, like whether that's in the great halls or underneath the walls listening to things, or in people's heads, like dealing with the stuff that they need to be dealing with. I enjoy it. I trust in Hob and I enjoy it, and we get more beautiful kind of like droplets and sprinklings of extra detail about the lore and history of the world, and like you're playing connect the dots, like she's been giving you. She's like, oh, by the way, you know, you were looking for like number 24 in your dot to dot puzzle and you just had to kind of like live with 23 to 25. Here's 24. It's like, makes sense. The dot to dot analogy, if you don't know what that is, it's where you have like the kids book and like everything is numbered and you join the dots in the sequence and then it makes a picture. That's the kind of thing. Yeah, it worked better in my head. I realized that may have not translated to the video. It's quite late when I'm doing this. I feel that my crazy level is a little bit higher than normal when filming. I'm very aware of that, but we're doing it now. So yes, Fool's Quest, really enjoyed all of those kind of things. And I can't say any more about this without spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, skedaddle, move along. I'm going in and I'm going to have some tea for them because we love tea. Tea is great. And it's just at the end of being drinkable before it starts going into the lukewarm downward slope. Okay, on to the actual detail of the book. So the vagarities, basically, Fool's Assassin, we end massive cliffhanger. Fitz is making sure the Fool is recovering. The Fool has been found tortured. Fitz mistakenly thinks that Fool is attacking his daughter and stabs him, and then realizes and then goes, I've killed the Fool, and has to go up to Buckkeep Castle. So we've got all of that going on in the turmoil, but our lovely little bee has been left with 2 people who are just idiots who should not be left with. But not that they could do anything anyway, but she goes back. We're worrying about Bee and Fitz and their relationship because it was just coming together and they've had to be separated. And then all of these people attack the home and abduct Bee. And that's how we're left. And we start off this book with Fitz not knowing any of that's happened, and we're just spending a lot of time with Fitz, and we don't see Bee again until the 3rd chapter. So of course that's why I had to skip ahead. It's like, when's Bee? Okay, cool. When's Fitz find out about Bee? Wait, hold on, not for a really long time? Okay. So it's very much you kind of have to let the plot go and just kind of embrace the story and just be patient and just wait, and it's fine. It's gonna be fine. I think. I've not read the final book. I don't actually know. I'm hoping it's fine. So that was a lot to deal with. So you've just got this like but Bee constantly going through your head. So once I was able to park, okay, we're gonna deal with that later. That's not gonna be dealt with for a long time. I can sit back and go, okay, cool, let's hang out at Buckkeep and see what shenanigans are occurring. So we had more fun Shade spiderwebbing moments. I really like Shade. I think his character is awesome. We probably wouldn't be close friends. I would not be telling him my secrets, nor trusting that he was always honest with me. But as his character. I love that, you know, Shade's got a shade. He's got to spin his webs. He can't help himself. And I really enjoy that about him. I just enjoy all of that. So this Fitz and Shade relationship, I really just enjoy just how that has continued and how that has gone, and just kind of seeing how much that there is a love there. Like this, like it's not doesn't quite feel father and son. It's too, don't know what the word is, but it's like he's not protective enough of Fitz. Burrick was father and son. Verity, to a certain extent, was father and son relationship with Fitz, but Shade isn't. Like it's very much mentor. You very much have that kind of mentor and apprentice, funnily enough, Assassin's Apprentice, with their relationship. So it's, in a way, in its own way, it's kind of more honest and more kind of equal in a way, that they are willing to sacrifice each other and kind of have this understanding of how much, being an assassin, you kind of sacrifice of your soul to a certain extent, and how much you kind of hide from other people because of what you do. And so I really do enjoy their relationship. And there were just so many heartwarming moments in here where you just see how much Shade has grown to and has always appreciated Fitz. And there's some really lovely lines in there about how fondly he thinks of like the hot-headed boy Fitz that the grown mature Fitz would love to act like, but has learnt to try and just think and plan a bit more and appreciate the thinking and planning. So I've loved all of that. Just the love between them. I've just really enjoyed seeing that. Obviously we have Katrychan again. We have the wonderful Katrychan, and just her relationship with Fitz, and how much of a kind of, I think they just bond over their love of Verity. It's almost like they have this beautiful kind of like sibling relationship. And I just think no one loves Verity as much as them. And so because they know how much the other one loved them, they just have that closeness together because of that. And so when the other one feels like pain and hurting about something, they can really empathize with them, even though their kind of political leanings don't ally. Like Katrychan is very much for the crown and everything for the crown, and Fitz is a lot more, I really want to put the ones I love before everything else, please. But just seeing them like together, and again just conjoined in grief, and just the support that Katrychan offers to Fitz in here is really beautiful. That was just such a high moment for me in this book. But my biggest one was Nettle and Fitz. Like a lot of like the bits that I wanted to be explored between Nettle and Fitz's relationship, which I really felt was kind of lacking in Fool's Fate. I didn't get that, even though it's my favourite book. I didn't get that. So to see certain points in here where Nettle and Fitz appreciate each other more, like Fitz really wants to give his daughter the respect of everything she's kind of been through, and the fact that she is skill mistress, that she is in this position, and like how hard she's worked to make it work from nothing. And Fitz kind of respecting that, respecting how she has grown in skill, how she has an understanding of this, where he has kind of just been winging it without consequence for a long time, whereas she's like responsible and is kind of being in the open and fully scrutinized use of skilling. It's really nice to see. But my favorite part was when Fitz's walls has just completely broken down because of things that have happened, and the skill is just pouring out of him and he can't hold anything back, and Nettle fully sees him and everything he's kept from her and how he's felt about everything, and finally understands why he did what he did and how much he does love her and the family and all of that. Because I always feel a bit annoyed when people just don't appreciate why Fitz kept away for so long. Like, we get hints, again, what I love about this is you get little hints of like songs and things that have come, and there is still parts of the Six Duchies where the wit is looked on with distrust, and the especially places that were kind of regal loyalists back from Farseer. They have more of the Regal as the hero and Fitz as the scary, traitorous, murdering, witted bastard. And those all still exist. So for him to be linked to anyone would endanger them. And I still think people just don't fully appreciate that he just wanted everyone to be safe. And yes, he just put them above his own needs. And the pain and things that caused really, really hurt. He absolutely was never like he didn't care. He cared so much. And I think Nettle was finally able to see that and to appreciate how much he never let Molly realize how much he hurt, and how much he never let Nettle realize how much he hurt, because he didn't want her to feel bad about Burrick or Molly, as you know, on top of everything else. And she has been still struggling with the concept of that Fitz had given her away to be raised by Burrick, and that he didn't want her. So, and they've never spoken about it. And it's not as fully explored as I would like it to be, but it's a start. And especially with Nettle's news as well, that you know, her and Riddle are secretly married and she's expecting a baby, and she really wants her baby to have a granddad. And she calls him Dar a lot more in here. So there's so many wonderful Nettle and Fitz moments in here as well. So that's all wonderful. Bee's amazing. Just everything she's going through, and we're really seeing like all the White Prophet stuff coming through in what she's dealing with and what she's managing, and I love her. I felt like we didn't get as much Bee as we could have done, so I really hope we get more Bee in the next one. I really love Bee. I want an equal Fitz Bee kind of exploring, I think. And I love Fool in this. I know lots of people are kind of annoyed with like Fool, but Fool is being Fool. Fool is always, as much as like, I think in Fool's Errand, especially when you go into Fool's Errand and you know that Fool has also been Amber, and just that kind of combination, like I was definitely in Fool's Errand just calling them the Amber Fool, and that kind of combination of, you do just really feel that Fool is really, really wise, and you sometimes forget that actually Fool has a lot of flaws as well, and it's like, actually no, this is really true for his character, because he did make decisions. He did kind of put this big emphasis, and he's been open about it, like, you know, I will push this mission above everything else. Like, I love you, Fitz, but you're gonna have to suffer a lot for this mission to work, and I'm gonna put you through it anyway, even though I know about it. Fool's always been very open about that. Fool has like a jealous kind of hypocritical nature to a certain extent. Fool will go in on himself and just won't talk to people when Fool is feeling upset about things. And yeah, so all of this felt very Fool, but I sort of love like the slightly sort of like messy drama of Fool and Fitz's relationship. And again, we've had that in each book, like so in each of the book twos of the trilogy, like Royal Assassin, we've had Fool like shaming Fitz about not doing enough to help Shrewd. Like, Fool was so focused on, you haven't been helping Shrewd. Like, I think to Fool, like, that was the way the mission needed to go, that Shrewd was what was holding it together, and then once Shrewd goes, Regal kind of steps in and can really work his webbing. So you had that one, and then obviously Golden Fool, there was all kinds of issues going on between Fitz and Fool that just were not going to be resolved. So we see it again in this one, but more sort of towards the end. I feel like, you know, they're out on a quest. It's almost like they shouldn't be shut indoors for too long. They need to be out in the world. They are too big a characters to be cooped up. And I just really enjoyed, like, as we sort of started to go down sort of more towards that end of Fool just being really protective of Fitz, and worrying about him being overwhelmed, and the stuff is gonna go down. We've just left again a big kind of like cliffhangery thing, and I don't know what's gonna happen. There's a lot of, I like the grey areas of it, because you can see why there are gonna be people angry, and though you know why, Fool has done certain things, like it probably wasn't the wisest plan, but then Fool has never been wise. But I love Fitz and the Fool together. They are so much fun. I'm enjoying the children in this, Perseverance and Ash Spark. They are gorgeous. They must be protected. I'm looking forward to seeing more of them. Lant, we'll see what he does. We'll see where he goes. I'm hoping something happens with him. I'm not sure. Or at least I still want him to apologise, basically. He still hasn't apologised for being a dick. So yeah, he should work on that instead of feeling sorry for himself. But I am enjoying like seeing characters kind of meeting up in Kelsingra and seeing where that's going to go. What I really want from Assassin's Fate is I really want Fitz to be on board the Paragon and have the moment where he goes, "That's my face. Why is it on a live ship?" Just need that. I need that moment. I'm hoping we get to the White's place. I'm hoping we get more answers about the others. And like, are they going to get to Others Island? Is that where you might find the way to the Whites? I don't know. Are we going to find out why the dragons are disappearing and just neglecting their elderlings? I don't know. Are we going to find the answers to these things? We've just got one book left. There's just one book left. One more book. Yeah. Are we going to know why there are pillars into Chalced, which by all accounts is possibly not dragon friendly? Maybe did it have like elderlings visiting previously? I don't know. There's so many things I want to know, but we don't. So looking forward to all of that. Can't wait to start it. But I really want to make sure I read Assassin's Fate in the right place, because it's the last one. It's the last one, and I just want to be able to just enjoy and flow and then feel all of that. So there we go. Fool's Quest. What does Piolis read now?
For Psionics and Divination, Level Q, Reading the Future. Read a book set in the future. And for that, I have chosen Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman, which is a YA sci-fi dystopia.
So yes, for the next class, I've chosen Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. And this is the second book in the arc of the Scythe trilogy. And it is definitely set in the future, set so far in the future that we have advanced so much that we can revive ourselves. So there is now no longer death. So in order that the population levels of the world are kind of kept down, they have scythes, so like actual Grim Reapers that glean people. I read the first book quite a long time ago now. Over a year ago. And I wanted and fully intended to keep reading the series. I just never got around to it because I got distracted by other things. But I do want to finish out the series. It's now like one of my focus ones that I really want to finish and read. So I'm here to read Thunderhead. Now, from what I understood, I thought Scythe focused on two characters. And then Thunderhead was set in the same world but focused on two different characters. And then you saw all of them in the Toll. That's what I understood. But from reading the first two chapters of this one, we hear references to some of the characters that have passed very helpfully. A little bit of clarification, because I'm like, I think these are these characters, but it's been a while that it was kind of roughly clarified what had happened. But we do meet one of the other characters just within the first two chapters. So it does feel like it's going to be continuing with where we left off before. But we kind of meet the kind of big brother of this dystopian world. So we meet Thunderhead, which it sounds like is basically kind of like a thinking internet, is from what I understand. There's even the word called the Cloud in there. So keen to see where it goes, keen to see kind of what is explored more in this one. So we will find out. Let me know if you are still doing your journeys for the Magical Readathon, if you are still continuing. I don't actually think I said that this was for the Magical Readathon. This is for the Magical Readathon. And it's all in the description below. It is below. Yes, great. This video is a bit of a mess, but hopefully you enjoyed me talking about some books. But if not, no worries, you didn't need to stay. Anyway, let's finish up this mess. Happy reading, everybody.